Hello, my name's Geoff Richardson. I live in West Malvern. I go to the Malvern Hills Elim Church, which meets in the college chapel, and I've been asked to contribute to this little series on faith stories. But first, let me ask you a question. What does the word faith mean to you? Maybe for you it's about trust, whether you have faith in the police force, and I hope you do. Maybe for you it's more a question of differentiating between someone who's a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Jew or a Christian or a person of no faith. That sounds a little bit more like it because it seems to relate to the spiritual world rather than the material world of government and authority. But maybe more than that, you see faith as something to help you get through difficult times. You hear someone say, "My faith really helped me get through this." I guess that's something a number of people have said over recent weeks and months. But others may reply, "Well, I wish I had your faith." That seems to suggest faith is something personal. Either you've got it and it connects you with the unseen, or you haven't got it, or maybe you don't think you need it. Well, that might sound a bit heavy. And I guess it is in a sense, but it's important. It's very important. You see, in recent weeks, many people have had unspeakable sadness of saying goodbye to loved ones that they have lost long before their time. And I could ask, would faith have sustained them? Would faith have supported them during that time? I hesitate to even ask that question. Somehow it seems a little bit insensitive. Maybe a better question to ask is, what about me? Is my faith strong enough to sustain me in the face of bereavement or serious illness? You see, in these little stories of faith, we're not wanting to tell stories so that you'll say, "Wow, that's great, but it's all right for you." Or, "That's amazing." Rather, we want you to know that ordinary people like us can trust in a God who's concerned about every detail of our lives. Yes, it's possible to live life with the awareness that you have a Father in heaven who's interested in everything about you. Let me illustrate that by telling you a little story about something that happened to us as a family just a couple of months ago. My wife Helen and I were due to visit our son who lives in Japan, lives there with his wife and our 2 grandchildren. We go most years and we had planned to go on a flight that departed on the 16th of March. You may remember that date. Well, during the preceding week, there had been a little bit of an increase in the coronavirus epidemic, certainly in China, and it was in Italy. But the travel people said there's nothing to worry about. As long as you're not going to China or northern Italy, go ahead. And in fact, they were persuading us to check in early. But we were uneasy. And we had a conversation on the Saturday with our son in Japan. And we decided, obviously with some reluctance, to cancel the trip. On the following day, the Monday, I was poorly. I had a fever. A few days after that, I was suffering shortness of breath. I spoke to my doctor and she said, "Yes, you probably have got COVID-19 and you need to take the necessary precautions." Now, if we had gone to Japan, which we could easily have done, I probably would have been quarantined, probably hundreds of miles away from my family, and we'd have struggled to get a flight home. Now, you may say, "Well, we were lucky." I can understand you saying that. But you see, I don't see it quite like that. You see, we have a routine, Helen and I, that every day we commit that day to God. We don't know what the outcome is going to be of that day or any day, but we trust that God does and that he cares for us. There's a little verse in the Bible which says, "Give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares about you." That's my faith story. And if you want to know, incidentally, more about God, I believe he revealed himself beautifully in Jesus, but that's another story. Goodbye.